Kipper, great to see you. You look like you lost weight. Did you lose weight?
No, it's on the bottom half of me right now.
Story of my life, too. You know what I'm saying?
Dropped.
Story of my life. All right, let's start off with a story I don't think any of us thought we were going to talk about.
No.
Today, Clark MacArthur. Kipper, how surprising was it for you hearing he failed the medical? What are you hearing on it?
Well, forget me. How about the look on Dorian's face when he says, "I have no idea what happened." How do you go from coming back towards the very end of the regular season and then playing 19 playoff games and being an integral part of a tremendous playoff push, and then go all summer and everything seems to be fine? And what did he skateboard to his physical and fall off of it? Was it that recent of an injury that Dorian and the rest of them look surprised? It's a sad story for Clark MacArthur, because we all know how hard he worked to get back to that place. I can recall an interview after a game-winning goal in the playoffs with Ron McLean, and what a tremendous story that was, and his mom and dad being involved in it, and now all of a sudden to be told by one of the team doctors, nope, you're back on the sideline, must be devastating for him.
I got a feeling this story doesn't end here. I got a feeling that we might be talking about this in the future, but there's so much going on. I want to move on, especially.
I'm sure as we speak, he's on the phone, maybe getting a second opinion.
Yeah.
Entitled to that. We'll definitely watch this thing get played out in the next few days.
Yeah, without a doubt. I wanted to get to Winnipeg because they made a major splash today, signing Brian Little. Seems like a lot of money for what is a second-line center with 21 goals, but how much more does he bring to the table?
I like him a lot. Yeah. There's no question that he can fill that second role behind Scheifele tremendously. He's a competitor. He can score. Just a matter of staying healthy. We don't know Scheifele's on a long-term deal, and he kind of set that bar. So, I don't think that they're going to have the money that, say, Edmonton or Toronto will have to shell out. What will be interesting a year from now, if Patrick Laine ends up having the year that he had in his rookie year, then all of a sudden he has to come in. Morrissey's a young defenseman. They're going to have to re-up. Trouba. We'll see what kind of financial commitment they make to the Winnipeg fans to show that we're playing with the big boys here, and we'll spend to compete. That is still a little tricky in the eyes of a lot of people. How far committed are they financially, Winnipeg, to push?
Kipper, the Maple Leafs today confirming that they will not name a captain for 2017-18. Do you like the move?
Didn't Babcock confirm that he's the captain today?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, he did.
Correct.
I'm okay with it. There doesn't seem to be a rush. I've said this before, that it's not like Nashville's captain or anything else. When we're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens, we're talking about a very important position, the stature, the weight of it. Unfortunately, Phaneuf didn't have a strong enough team to support him, and we know that he had his faults. But this is entirely different now that the expectation and the bar's been raised by Brendan Shanahan, Lou Lamoriello, and Babcock. They should take their time on this, and when they're ready, Matthews, Marner, they've proven that they're special players and they're committed, and they know how to carry themselves. When they're ready, they'll name them. And I can't see it by Christmas. I don't see it particularly at any point during the season, but I think in the off season after this year, we'll see a major announcement.
Speaking of major announcements, when it comes to Matthews and Marner, we've been talking about how the shift has gone in the NHL to paying guys for what they're about to do. David Pasternak's the latest to get a pretty significant deal at a very tender age. Leon Draisaitl gets paid after one good year. They're still not even sure what position they're going to put him at. Let me ask you this about the future of Marner, Nylander, Matthews. What do you think it costs the Leafs to keep those three guys in uniform, and does that come at the expense of JVR?
It might come at the expense of one of them. I don't know if, again, it'll depend on the success. Let's face it, Draisaitl probably went from 5.5 million, maybe even 6 to 8.5, because he was the best player on the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs, and that included a team that had Connor McDavid. So that's where he made his extra $2.5 million. I don't know. Does Matthews need to win a Hart Trophy and a league scoring title and win a round or two in the playoffs here before he gets his 12.5? If I'm Lou Lamoriello and if you check those things off like Connor McDavid, then maybe you'll get your 12.5. But we'll see how this thing plays out. But ultimately, if they have the years that people envision, and they want to skip those short-term deals and go for the big home run, then it may cost one of them a spot on the Leafs moving forward, and it won't stop at JVR. You can't have all of these guys at $8, $9, or $10 million moving forward. It's going to be tricky for Edmonton with $21 million, and then add Lucic, and then add Nugent Hopkins, and now you're 4 guys into the mid-30s, which pretty much is half your payroll. Where's the rest of it to win a Stanley Cup? That's the danger if the cap doesn't move up, and if Gary Bettman doesn't get the revenue going again and move that cap up. Edmonton's going to be really challenged with those 2 contracts of Draisaitl and McDavid.
Kipper, before we let you go, Matt Duchene did report to Avalanche camp today, and judging by his face, he wanted to be anywhere else in the world besides Avalanche camp. Yeah. 2 years left on the deal. Joe Sakic has not pulled the trigger on this. Do you think between now and next February 26th trade deadline, he is finally moved?
Yes. Yeah. No question. He doesn't want to be there. They don't want him. I think it's the right move to get back into training camp. Jonathan Drouin proved that early in his career. You got to stay playing. You got to be on the ice, and you got to make teams see what they're getting in a potential trade. Now, we'll see. We know training camp, boys. Everybody's winning the Stanley Cup. Every one of their top prospects is going to be NHL Rookie of the Year. There's no panic. Let's get in the first 2 weeks of the season. Let's see who gets out of the gate slow, and let's see who needs some offensive help. We'll see Duchene moved sooner than later.
Last question for you, and we got to make it quick. How many Canadian teams make the postseason this season?
Tough question.
6.
Wow. Rogers executives would love it.
That's what I said.
They would love it. Kipper, you shine.
Winnipeg's going to be better.
Yeah,
they will. Kipper, you always shine bright like a diamond.
What?
It's kind of bright, the shot. It's great. It reflects his mood and personality and just general demeanor on life. Kipper, we appreciate you. It's hockey season. We love it. Thanks, man.
Looking forward to a fun year, guys. Thank you.